I'm Hugh, this is Code with Hugh, and this is a lesson in my Learn to Program course. This lesson is a bit different from the others. It's a hands-on lesson, which means that you may want to enter code into your IDE to follow along with me. In this lesson, I want to summarise what we've learned in this course up to now. I'll also introduce a couple of new things, for example, how to get input from the user and how to create constants, values that can't be changed. And I'll guide you through some simple code to write a calculator in either Java or C#. As always, I'll be showing C# examples in Visual Studio and Java examples in NetBeans. You don't have to use both those languages to follow this lesson, just use one or the other. But since this course aims to explain the principles of programming in general, not just the specifics of one programming language, well, it may be useful to pay attention to the similarities and the differences in both the languages that I'll be using, even if you only actually enter your own code in one or the other. Now, before you can write a program, you need to create a project. In this case, we need a command line project. That's a program that runs from the system prompt. To create a command line project in NetBeans, just select File, New Project, and here I'm going to select Java with Ant. Ant is just it's a programming tool for managing projects. You can, if you're familiar with NetBeans, you might prefer to select Java with Maven. The advantage of Java with Ant is it will create a startup file for us. So it's a simple way to get going. Java application, and then next. And here I'm just prompted to enter a name for the project, so I'm just going to enter test, and you can browse to a location if you want to. Click finish, and then my project will be loaded here into NetBeans. It may be added if you've already got an existing project, as I have here. It may be added as a node beneath that, and so to make sure this is the selected project, you just highlight it. And if you're following in C#, this is what you need to do to create a C# console project in Visual Studio. Select File, New Project, make sure that C# is the selected language up here, select Console App, next, give it a name, and optionally, if you wish to browse to a location, click Next, and then Create. And here up in the Solution Explorer, you can see there's your project ready to go. If you want a fun but challenging project for C# or Java, you may want to follow my course on writing an adventure game. This course, the one you're following now, is mostly about the theory and technique of programming. My adventure game course is much more code intensive, by which I mean that you'll need to do a lot more of your own programming in C# or in Java in order to follow along. Anyway, back to this lesson. Let's have a quick reminder of variables and data types. Variables, you'll remember, are names to which values can be assigned. These values have to have data types such as int for integer, double for floating point number, and string for a series of characters, that is a piece of text enclosed between double quotes. So let's write a program that displays Hello World. NetBeans has already created this little program for us. All I have to do now is to enter some code to be run. So here in the main function, I'm just going to enter system dot out dot print ln, pair of parentheses, and inside I'm going to write in double quotes hello world, and I'm all ready to go. Now here, system is the name of a class supplied by Java. A class is something that wraps up bits of data and also bits of code. You don't need to understand that in detail for now. All you really need to understand here is that this bit of code, the one that I've just written, displays the string between the round brackets, and println is a named block of code defined by Java, and that's a function or method. As with many programming languages, this complete statement has to be terminated with a semicolon, and to run my program now I just have to click this little icon up here, and away it goes. It compiles it, and there's the result shown down here in the output, hello world. Right, now let me write the C# version of the code. So I load up Visual Studio and, well, I don't need to write anything because C# has automatically written a Hello World program when I created the project. Its way of displaying text is to use its console class, which provides the method writeLine. As with Java, the string is enclosed in double quotes. It has to be placed between a pair of parentheses and the statement ends with a semicolon. Incidentally, you can't help but notice that Java had to write much more code to get this done. So if you look in NetBeans, you can see that I've got class test and then a method, public static void main. Now in previous lessons, I showed in Visual Studio a similar coding style. In recent versions of C#, the main function is no longer absolutely required to be written. Microsoft has added this simplified version as an alternative to the traditional coding style. Both are valid. Now to run this, I click this button up here. It compiles the program and it pops up this console window showing the output Hello World. Now let's write a more useful program, a tax calculator. This will let the user enter a value of some item, say that's for sale, and it will calculate the tax due on that item. Now I'm going to write this in the more conventional, old-fashioned, if you like, style in C#. So I'm going to create my class called program, curly braces, and then inside that I'm going to write a main function. Now this is going to take a little while to write, so I'm going to save some time, move on and show you the complete code. And if you wanted to copy it in your own program, well, pause the video and do so. So here's my finished code. Now let me point out a few things to pay attention to. First, you must put semicolons at the end of every statement, and you must use the same mix of uppercase and lowercase characters that I do. Both Java and C# are case sensitive. That means that if I declare a variable named grand total, like this one, all in lowercase, I can't later put some of the letters in uppercase, or C# will think it's a different value. So let me try that now. So if I find grand total down here and change this to uppercase, you can see I get a squiggly line underneath it showing it's an error, and it says that the name grand total does not exist in the current context. So put it back to the same mix of upper and lowercase. This is all lowercase, and it's now quite happy. Now notice that I've had to declare each variable here, tax, grand total, subtotal, as a double. That is a floating point number. I can't use integers, ints, because a value might be 2.5, say, where an integer can only represent whole numbers such as 2 or 3. When the user enters text at the system prompt, it's always treated as a string. Now I can't do calculations with strings, only with numbers. C# provides this parse method here, and that belongs to the double class. So I enter it as double dot parse. And what that does is it converts the string that I've entered, or the user enters, into a double value. For now, you'll have to be careful if you run this program that you enter a string that can be converted to a double. So if you enter hello world instead of 2.5, that's not going to work. Now in a real world program, we would need to add error checking to deal with those sorts of problems. But that's too complicated for our purposes at this point in this course. Now when I want to display the results of my calculations, I use the writeLine method of console here. And that lets me put numbered placeholders for different data types into the string. I then put a list of matching data elements separated by commas after the string. C# automatically converts numbers to strings when required and puts those into the string here before displaying them. Notice, by the way, that I've declared tax rate as a constant. That is a const. A const is a constant whose value, unlike the value of a variable, cannot be changed. If I tried to change the value of tax rate, it would be an error. And here's the Java version of the same code, the tax calculator. Again, pause the video if you want to enter this code yourself. Here, final is the Java equivalent of const, the constant we saw in C#, to make sure that the value of tax rate can't be changed. And I use a class called scanner and a scanner object sc, and that lets me get input from the system prompt, that is from system.in, and the way it does that is I call next line to get another line of input. Once again, be careful to use the same mix of upper and lower case in all the names of the classes, the functions and variables, because once again Java is a case-sensitive language. Now here parse double is the Java method to convert a string to a double value, and system out printf displays the string with bits of data inserted where these placeholders marked with a % occur. Here the .2f marker shows that this is a floating point number with 2 digits after the floating point, and \n will be replaced with a new line when the string is actually displayed. Let me just quickly show you one of these programs running. I'll run the C# version, so I click it to run it, and up pops the system prompt, so I enter a number. Let's do 100, and there it shows me the tax is 20 and the grand total is 120. Run it again, try it with a floating point number 2.5, and again it does the calculation. Remember, this course does not aim to teach you all the special features of C# or Java. I have books on both those languages that will take you through Java or C# step by step in fine detail. This course aims to teach you the fundamental features of programming languages in general. In most lessons in this course, I don't even expect you to write any code, though this lesson is an exception to that rule. However, if you're studying Java, C# or some other language, I do encourage you to write your own programs as you study this course. Once I've explained a feature or technique, make a habit of trying to write a program in whatever language you're studying to make use of that feature or technique. Writing your own programs, not just copying mine, is the only way to learn programming in real depth. For example, why don't you see if you can use my code from this lesson as the basis of a different sort of calculator, one that does addition, subtraction and multiplication maybe, or you could write one that converts between inches and centimeters, or between centigrade and Fahrenheit. Now, if you want help in writing complete programs, bear in mind that I have quite a few other courses on my YouTube channel which take a more hands-on approach. So if you want a lesson on a specific language, such as C#, Java, C, or Object Pascal, be sure to look at my other playlists. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to get notifications whenever I upload new lessons.